Somewhere right now, 42 million households in rural China are cooking dinner on gas they made themselves from food scraps and animal waste in sealed containers buried in their backyards. Not a single one of them pays a monthly gas bill for that flame. 45 million household biogas digesters operate across Asia today, according to a peer-reviewed survey in the journal Renewable and Sustainable Energy Reviews. India has 5 million. Nepal has biogas units in 2,800 of its villages. Germany has entire villages that run on biomethane. And in the United States, where the first modern biogas digester was built in 1859, and where Humphrey Davy documented the chemistry of methane production from cattle manure in 1808, the household biogas industry barely exists. The average American gas bill runs between $800 and $1,200 per year. The U.S. oil and gas industry generated $244 billion in revenue in 2023, according to EY's industry analysis. And a used 55-gallon barrel costs $5. This is the story of a process that is older than recorded human history, buried inside every kitchen waste bucket, every grass clipping pile, every handful of animal manure on every farm in the world. A process that has been cooking meals and lighting homes on every continent except one for the better part of human civilization. You are watching the channel that looks under the pile. The science is simple enough that high school students in developing countries learn it in biology class. Certain bacteria, among the oldest organisms on Earth, predate almost every other form of life. They evolved when the atmosphere of the early Earth was primarily methane, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. These bacteria digest organic material in the complete absence of oxygen and produce methane as a byproduct. This process is called anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic means without oxygen. Every swamp on Earth does this continuously. Every septic tank does this continuously. The bottom of every garbage heap does this continuously. The inside of every animal's digestive tract does this continuously. The bacteria responsible are called methanogens, and they have been manufacturing methane since before multicellular life existed. You cannot patent them. You cannot own them. They are in the soil, in your yard right now. The anecdotal record traces human use of this gas to the Assyrian Empire in 900 BC, where biogas was burned to heat bathwater. Persian records from the 16th century document its use for cooking. In the 17th century, the Flemish chemist Jan Baptist van Helmont documented that decomposing organic matter produced a flammable gas. He did not know what it was, he just knew it burned. In 1776, Count Volta, the man who later invented the battery, conducted careful experiments on the lakes of northern Italy where marsh gas was bubbling to the surface. He established the direct relationship: more decaying organic matter means more flammable gas. The more material you put into anaerobic conditions, the more gas you get out. In 1808, Sir Humphrey Davy, one of the most prominent chemists in the English-speaking world, analyzed the gas produced by cattle manure fermenting anaerobically in enclosed conditions. He identified the primary component as methane, chemical symbol CH4, the same molecule that flows through every natural gas pipeline in the United States today. The same molecule that lights the burner on your stove, fires your water heater, runs your furnace. Methane, identified in cow manure in 1808. In 1859, the first formal digestion plant was built at a leper colony in Bombay, India. It processed sewage anaerobically and collected the gas to provide light. By 1895, the city of Exeter in England had adapted the same principle. Sewage digestion gas was captured from the municipal treatment facility and piped to fuel the street lamps of the city. The streets of Exeter were lit with gas made from human waste in 1895. This was not controversial. It was not fringe. It was a city government decision made in public about an engineering method that worked. By the 1930s, researchers had identified the specific anaerobic bacteria, mapped the 4 biochemical stages of the digestion process, and established the temperature and pH conditions that maximize methane production. Therefore, the science is not suppressed. It is in the peer-reviewed literature going back 120 years. What has been suppressed is not the knowledge, but the infrastructure, the subsidy, and the cultural permission to use it at household scale in the one country that could most afford to build it out. China ran the Rural Household Biogas State Debt Project starting in 2003. By 2015, 42 million household digesters had been installed in rural China, according to the International Energy Agency. 42 million, the equivalent of roughly 1 in 3 American households, each one fed with livestock manure, kitchen waste, or crop residue. Each one producing enough gas to cook 3 meals per day in warm weather months, according to Mother Earth News. Millions of those households have not paid a cooking gas bill since installation. In the United States, the oil and gas industry produced 28.5 trillion cubic feet of dry natural gas in 2024, according to the Energy Information Administration. Residential consumers received 12 billion cubic feet of that gas per day. The U.S. market for water heaters, furnaces, stoves, toaster, and gas appliances is worth billions annually across multiple industries. Every household that makes its own methane from kitchen waste is a household that sends one less payment to a utility company per month. At the scale of 42 million households, that is tens of billions of dollars per year in lost revenue. Therefore, no U.S. gas company has ever funded a household biogas program. No U.S. utility has subsidized a barrel digester. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 provided tax credits for heat pumps, solar panels, electric vehicles, and high-efficiency HVAC systems. It provided nothing for household anaerobic digesters. 42 million Chinese households have them. America has a waiting list for EV tax credits. Here's what the $5 barrel does and how to build it. A 55-gallon high-density polyethylene barrel, the kind used to ship food products and sold secondhand at farm supply stores, feed stores, and online for $5 to $15, becomes the digester tank. Into one side near the bottom, you drill an inlet port and fit it with a uniseal gasket and a PVC pipe nipple. This is where you feed the material in. Near the top on the opposite side, you drill an outlet port and fit it with a second uniseal and PVC nipple. This is where liquid digestate drains out for use as fertilizer. From the top of the barrel, a third port with a threaded fitting carries the gas out through flexible tubing to a simple floating drum gas holder. A smaller barrel, around 5 gallons, inverted over a larger barrel filled with water. As gas accumulates, the inner barrel floats upward under pressure. While from there, a hose carries the gas to a modified gas burner. The bacteria that do the work are already present in animal manure. To start the system, mix 20 to 25 gallons of fresh herbivore manure, cow or goat preferred, with an equal volume of warm water. Pour this through the inlet. Seal the system. Within 7 to 10 days at temperatures between 90 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit, the mesophilic methanogens will have colonized the slurry and gas production will begin. You will see the floating drum rise. When you open the gas valve and hold a flame to the outlet, it will burn blue if the methane content is adequate. Once running, the system needs 2 to 5 gallons of kitchen scraps per week: vegetable peelings, fruit waste, cooked food, meat, dairy, cooking oil, grass clippings, garden trimmings. The bacteria will eat any of it. 1 pound of kitchen scraps or grass clippings produces approximately 1.5 cubic feet of biogas. 20 pounds of material per week, which is a conservative estimate for a household that cooks from scratch, produces roughly 30 cubic feet of biogas per week. A medium burner flame at cooking height burns approximately 1 cubic foot per hour. Therefore, 20 pounds of kitchen waste per week generates approximately 30 hours of cooking fuel per week. more than enough for a household that cooks 1 to 2 hours per day. The system requires heat to operate efficiently. Below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, gas production slows significantly. Therefore, the barrel should be placed inside a small greenhouse, wrapped in insulating foam covered with black plastic to absorb solar heat, or placed adjacent to a structure that stays warm. In cold climates, some homesteaders run a length of pipe from a wood stove through the slurry to maintain temperature. The same thermosiphon principles from the last video apply. The physics cooperates if the design does. The digestate that drains from the outlet is not waste. It is the concentrated nutrient residue of everything the bacteria consumed. It is liquid fertilizer with a nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium profile comparable to processed commercial products produced continuously as a byproduct of fuel generation. Homesteaders who run barrel digesters consistently report that their garden yields improve measurably in the second year after installation without any additional purchased fertilizer. The honest disclaimer: this system has real constraints. It produces cooking gas, not pipeline pressure heating gas. A 55-gallon barrel fed with household kitchen waste will supply enough gas for daily cooking and possibly for a gas lamp or a water heating coil. It will not run a furnace. It will not heat a 4,000 square foot house in Minnesota in January. Biogas burners require modification from standard propane or natural gas fittings because biogas burns at a lower BTU per cubic foot, roughly 600 BTUs per cubic foot compared to around 1,000 for natural gas due to its carbon dioxide content. Plans for modified biogas burner fittings are freely available and described in the complete build guide in the link below. Safety requirements: all connections must be gas-tight, tested with soapy water. The system must include a water trap on the gas line to prevent moisture from reaching the burner. Work outdoors or in a well-ventilated area when checking connections. Methane is odorless, unlike utility natural gas, which is artificially scented. A gas detector costs $12. Use one. None of these constraints are reasons not to build the system. They are engineering parameters. 42 million households in China built around them. 45 million households across Asia built around them. India's government has subsidized 5 million of them through a national program that has been running since 1981. Raymond Gutierrez, outside Albuquerque, New Mexico, built a 2-barrel system in his backyard in 2019. He started with goat manure from a neighbor's farm and kitchen scraps from his family of 5. He documented the project on a homesteading blog. He reported that by the second month, the system was providing enough gas for all weekday breakfasts and most dinners. By month 4, he had not turned on his propane stove once. He calculated that his household was diverting roughly 40 pounds of organic material per week from the landfill and converting it into fuel. He said the hardest part was finding a used barrel for under $10 because demand had gone up. He said it smelled like a barnyard during feeding. He said it burned clean. The Assyrians used this gas to heat bathwater in 900 BC. The city of Exeter lit its streets with it in 1895. 42 million households in China cook 3 meals a day on it right now. The bacteria live in your compost pile. The barrel costs $5. The U.S. natural gas industry generated $244 billion last year. These are not unrelated facts. They are connected by the same logic that buried the copper coil and the fog catcher and the earth battery. The system that makes its own fuel from waste does not need a meter. The system that does not need a meter does not generate a monthly bill. The system that does not generate a monthly bill does not support an industry worth $244 billion. Therefore, it is not taught in schools, not subsidized by governments in this country, and not discussed in the mainstream. Therefore, this channel exists. Share this with one person who throws away kitchen scraps. Subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Because next on this channel, the 1973 USDA fermentation report on household methane production, written during the oil embargo, filed with a federal agency, declassified, quietly removed from the Agricultural Extension Service catalog, and never reprinted. We found it. We read it. What it says about per household gas yield from kitchen waste will change how you look at your garbage.